Laurel and SuperTalk Hattiesburg. Luke Johnson joins us right now. No smiles, Luke Johnson. Can you smile? There he is. He does look happy. Co-host of the SuperTalk Eagle Hour. Luke, what's up, my man?
Oh, we got a PhD seminar tomorrow I'm prepping for, so glad to a little reprieve of baseball here.
Wait, are you going to be Dr. Luke Johnson before
Dr.
too
J?
much longer?
I think you were gone the time. It was about a year ago. I was going up to North Carolina for some entrance exams. I think you missed that part of the conversation. You were skiing or something.
Okay. But yes, you were working on a doctorate.
Yeah, working on a PhD at Southeastern Theological Seminary up in Wake Forest.
There you go. So Borky says Dr. J?
And that's going to be his name. We're a long way from the Dr. J talk. We're just taking classes right now, seminar stage.
All right, very good. We got two projections that we just looked at. D1 Baseball and Baseball America. I said if you're a Southern Miss fan, then you prefer the Baseball America projection where Southern Miss is hosting in Hattiesburg as the 16 seed. If you go the D1 Baseball route, it's a 2 seed in Nashville. Hey, Dad asked a question that I will pose to you as well. In fact, hey, Dad, why don't you pose the question to Luke? The way you asked it just a second ago, throw it at Luke so I don't mess it up. Or not. I'll do that. All right, so he said if you are Southern Miss, would you prefer to host and then deal with the number 1 overall seed Tennessee, potentially in a super regional to try and get to the College World Series, or have perhaps a slightly easier path to Omaha but not host? My thought was you absolutely want to host and then you just roll the dice and see what happens in the super regional. What do you think?
Bob and I talked about that today, last segment of the Eagle Hour. I kind of landed about 60-40. I would almost rather be a 2 seed. With the offense that Tennessee has, and they are the only pitching staff, in ERA and WHIP that's better than the Golden Eagles. They're just a monster. And I can see your point totally. I want to play more opportunities and, play more games at Pete Taylor Park. I'm just looking at it from a fan, I would much rather host. But the path to even if you're, a 2 seed at Vanderbilt, you still got to possibly go. You're still looking at what? Oregon State, or not Oregon State. You're looking at
Virginia Tech was the 3 seed they were paired against.
It's going to be tough either way, but you may get a little reprieve not going to Knoxville. That's just suffocating going in there.
So it felt like a really big deal that that Southern Miss was able to get Reese Ewing back in the lineup as a contributor, but maybe even a little bit of a calming influence over the weekend. And even though they lose on Friday night, they come back and they get the win on Saturday. They get the win on Sunday, and in some ways kind of stopped the bleeding and played well in those 2 games to beat UTSA and win the series.
Yeah, you almost felt like Sargent and Wilkes especially were putting so much pressure on themselves, and they didn't really have a true, 3-hole hitter. Tried McGillis there a couple games. Pato was struggling, and so Scott Berry told us Monday, and I thought it was exactly dead on. I mean, 4 walks Reese Ewing takes Friday night, and Scott said this. He said Reese basically taught us, not to swing at bad pitches again. He walks 2 times on Saturday, and then gets the home run and the double on Sunday. And what you saw is to use your words, it was a calming influence. Guys quit swinging out of the zone. Sargent quit trying to pull things when he was struggling. You just saw his left foot just be wide open down the third base path. And I think he did bring some calmness back up there because people were able just to kind of settle back in and do what they needed to do. And it's just enormous. He's been in the dugout just to have him back in that patient approach. And, as a guy, about 5'10", 5'11", doesn't look like, he's got that much power, but he does when he swings the bat.
Thursday, Friday, Saturday series to close it out. Got to go to Middle Tennessee State. It's an improved team there in Murfreesboro. Going on the road, never easy. What does it feel to you like the needed outcome is if it's all about hosting a regional? I mean, we've talked with Kendall. We're going to talk with Aaron Fitt this afternoon. What do you think Southern Miss has to do to solidify one of those 16 host spots?
If you sweep, I don't think you have to win the tournament. You probably have to get to the final. If you take 2 out of 3, you probably have to win the tournament. I mean, you've got to give the selection committee a reason, not a reason to keep you off the hosting. And so if you get to 44 wins, which would be 6 more wins, 43 would probably give you a good look. 44 it would be hard to turn the Eagles down. We talked to Coach Toman from Middle Tennessee today. And by the way, he probably had the best quote of the year on Eagle Hour. Bob asked him how you approach Southern Miss pitching. He said, "Swing really hard and you may hit it," which is kind of what Old Dominion, what they did a few weeks ago. But I think that if you win 2 out of 3 on the road, it's like a home sweep. But you really need to sweep. I don't think they're going to sweep. Game 3, Middle Tennessee is 9-2 this year in series. Of course, that includes a series win at Auburn. They're 7-2, only 1 sweep in Conference USA series, but they've won 2 out of 3, 7 different times. So Eagles have to win tomorrow night. That's the biggest thing. Even though Tanner Hall really hadn't had apart from the 14K strikeout against ODU, really hasn't looked good. The last 2 out of 3 had some left some pitches up. He needs to come out and throw like he did the first part of the year. Eagles need to win game 1 tomorrow.
You've been a part of it before. What's it going to feel like? What's the vibe going to be like at Pete Taylor as Southern Miss hosts the Conference USA tournament? I made a comment to Borky off the air yesterday. You got to think that Conference USA is like, seriously, they're the ones that are hosting the tournament this year on the way out the door, but there was no way out of it at this point. What's it going to feel like at the Ball Yard next week?
I mean, you got a taste of it at the Ole Miss game. The huge scoreboard is now up. I mean, it's fabulous. Places, the Roost is going to be rocking at that Ole Miss game, man. Especially in the right field Roost. I mean, you're 4 deep, going all the way up to the pine trees, and so it'll be quality electric. This is the final performance of the Conference USA farewell tour. So Eagles, with what's on the line, you just hope that what you saw, in the last really 3 weeks, that they don't try to, overextend and try to make something happen versus something to happen. But, I mean, people are going to be there. And just like we talked to Middle Tennessee today and talked to some of the other people, I think as far as the tournament, the teams are excited because of the playing surface. When you were in Biloxi, you would get, some of these rain delays and stretch games out and make games start really early. That field can take a ton of water, and, in about 25 minutes you can be back up and playing as long as there's not lightning. So I think from an atmosphere, it's going to be spectacular. And I think a lot of teams are looking forward to playing in a great venue like Pete Taylor Park.
Will Southern Miss fans kind of show up for all the games? I mean, obviously you're not going to have as big a crowd as you will for a Southern Miss game. But, I mean, if you got Middle Tennessee playing against, I don't know, Louisiana Tech at 11 o'clock on Friday, is there going to be a crowd in there for that?
Friday should be better. It'll be tough, I think, on Thursday and even Wednesday. But yeah, I mean, you're talking night games. There'll be a good crowd, and you would suspect that for the conference, they would want Southern Miss to play later in the day because of the crowds. But I mean, yeah, if you've got in the second round game, it could be the way this conference is going to pan out. I mean, 6 of your 8 teams in the tournament are probably going to have RPIs north of 60. 5 of them may have RPIs north of 50, and you may have a Southern Miss Old Dominion, game 2 at night. And the other part about this tournament is, over the weekend, by Friday, you could have a team that's in second place now that ended up in 6th place, a team that's in 7th place being second place. So there's still a lot that's going to be determined in the next 3 days.
So does Conference USA have the ability to manipulate the schedule to make sure that Southern Miss plays in a night slot?
I know that when it was in Biloxi, Southern Miss managed to play more in the primetime spots. And if they did not want Southern Miss to lose their first game, to force them, in a day game on day 2. So you always wanted the Eagles. Eagles always played like late in the afternoon most of the time, and there was a crowd. And then if you win that, then you're guaranteed a night game for game 2. And so that's what the conference wants. I would suspect that when it comes out, because they are the 1 seed, their first game will be late afternoon or early evening.
All right. It's going to be a lot of fun.